Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Creating Conversations. Today, I'm going to be joined by one of my really close friends, Claudia. Claudia is a cosplayer, and she does TikToks. She's an amazing artist, and just all around a wonderful person. So, today, we're going to hear from her. We're going to hear her stories. We're going to create a conversation with her today. Enjoy. All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the very first episode of Creating Conversations. This is my good friend, Claudia. Hi, Claudia.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. A little excited to be here, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
So my name is Claudia. My account handle on pretty much everything online is Naruto Chick 0, CHIC 0. I assume you'll put a link somewhere.
Yes, I will have all of this in the description. You know, it'll be a constant. Just, go ahead and please follow Claudia in everything.
I'm 26 years old. I basically started, I didn't actually start playing video games or anything really until I was in high school, which is pretty late, I would say, in the grand scheme of things. But I like to consider myself a cosplayer, first of all, because it's my passion. I love to do it. I make almost all of my costumes by hand. I started sewing when I was a kid. Basically, I think I was maybe 10 or 11. And my grandma started teaching me. So after that, I started making things by hand, and then I crafted, and I do pretty much everything. I play video games, I read manga, I watch anime, and pretty much I'm like a jack of all trades. I dabble in everything.
Well, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, it's a great introduction. It's a good start. And sorry, everybody, this is going to be kind of like a play it as we go here. But, I mean, that's a perfect introduction. So you said you were about 10 years old when your grandma started teaching you how to sew?
Right.
And did you get to learn on like one of those like old singers back in the day? No.
No, it was a normal electronic sewing machine.
Well, that's good.
Although my sewing machine I do have now is a vintage Singer, so it looks like one of those old like hand crank sewing machines, but it's not.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
It's super nice. It's fancy. It's too fancy for me, but I like it a lot. It's hard. I don't know if any of you sew or anything, or
like difficult.
Yes. Okay. It's just difficult in general to sew. I guess if you're thinking about it in the base terms, sewing is really not that hard. Put a piece of fabric in, thread the machine, and you stitch. It's not that difficult. What's difficult is putting things together, especially things that are more intricate and more detailed, that have more pieces or parts to it. The more you have, the harder it's going to be. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of simplistic projects for a really long time, and my grandmother would do the more complicated stuff until I took sewing classes and from like an actual college, and they taught me how to actually build garments, which is basically where I started most of my cosplay from, is from that class. Now I did make stuff like clothes before I did that class, but it was not great.
Sorry, I muted my own mic. What would you say would be like your first, like, I wouldn't say cosplay, but like, what was the first thing like you really made?
The first thing I really made by hand was Yang's Volume 1 jacket.
Oh, really?
Yes, which is, I don't know it's complicated. I mean, it's got puffy sleeves, it's got appliques, it's got top stitching, and it's got trim, and I'm just like, yeah, first big project, gonna go super hard. It didn't turn out great. I have pictures of it somewhere. I actually just threw it away last year.
Oh, you threw it away?
Or earlier this year, because we moved. And so I had a bunch of stuff that I needed to get rid of, and so I threw it away. I had already made another one, so like I kept the original one as like a sentimental reasons.
Sure.
But then I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I made it for Anime NebraskaCon. My friend and I went as Weiss and Yang, and it was actually only that. Well, it was the same year Ruby had come out, so it was like 2 months after the premiere.
Wow, you
so
put that together fast.
Yeah. Yes. I put together her whole costume, and the wig actually came the day before I left for the convention. And then my friend's mom made her Weiss dress, which was stunning, and she looked really good. So
That's fantastic. I might have to get those pictures from you just to kind of showcase them here. For those who don't know, Yang is from an animated show called Ruby, made by Rooster Teeth, which both me and Claudia are big fans of, and it's actually how we met.
I actually have Yang up there. It's,
there you go.
It's cut off, but yeah, she's up there. She's my favorite character.
That's fantastic. That's so awesome. I mean, like, I met you, just a couple years ago, and I mean, like, your cosplays have always been something that I've fallen in love with, because I think you do such a great job, and you're also I would say you're part of the reason why my wife, Cassie, also, like, got into cosplay. I can't confirm that by any means, but, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Claudia, you've always been very inspirational in that. You're so good at what you do. And I know you don't think so, as a lot of artists in general do, but I mean, it's true. Like, you're fantastic, and I want you to know that you do such a great job. And
You're so kind.
I try to be. That's kind of the idea of this. So
Yeah, and I'm definitely working on that whole self-confidence thing when it comes to my own creation.
Good.
Working on that.
Now, just because you bring that up, just a curious question, and this is probably a very difficult thing to answer, because I don't think I could answer it myself. But where do you think that, like, not having the self-confidence in your own creations comes from? And like I said, it's a broad question, but do you think that's just from like, I guess I don't really know how to put it, but
in terms of self-confidence when it comes to cosplay, for me anyway, my creation might be adequate, and I might be very proud of my creation, and it might be better than what I think it is. But the fact that it's displayed on myself, that's what really causes issues. Because
Okay.
I've had body confidence issues for my entire life. I've always been bullied about it because I am 6 foot tall, and I have been 5'11" since I hit 5'11" my freshman year of high school, and I got bullied a lot for it because I was a freak. I was really tall. It was not great. I was also kind of bullied a lot for my gender neutrality that whole thing, which I didn't really understand until I was in college. But I got picked on for wearing boys' clothes, for looking like a boy half the time, and all of that. So having my creation displayed on my own figure, which I don't see as a great figure, makes me think my cosplays aren't as good as others.
Sure.
So Paige and I, my sister, did Thor and Loki a couple years ago, and I made both my costume, and I made the fabric parts of my sister's costume. And I think mine just looks meh. Like, it's okay. It's probably one of my favorite costumes, but only if we're together, because hers, I feel like, looks amazing. Like, I did a lot of work. It's all stretchy, it's all leather, it's all sexy, and I love it. She looks really good in it. No one really understood I was Thor, but that's fine. Like, the fact that we were together really kind of helped.
Well, that's sweet.
Looking at my creation on her makes me feel better about it, and I really don't. I guess I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
I mean, I guess you could consider it being, like, hard work is hard work, right? Like, that's how I've always taken things, and when you make something yourself, there's, as we mentioned earlier, there's always the idea of an artist or a creator or anything always saying, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better, and I don't like the way I did it, but like, for what you do, like, you give it to somebody else and you see the work that you put into it, and you're just like, I did pretty damn good here. And I understand where you're coming from with the idea that it's like, I don't like it on myself, but I like it on somebody else. I mean, I say the same thing all the time. I put a flannel shirt on and I think I look like garbage, but I look at Tom Welling from Smallville and I think he looks amazing. So, you know, it's a different thing. That was a really poor attempt at a joke. So this isn't about jokes,
laugh.
but yeah, that's fine. I get it. So with that, you know, with what you've been talking to us about here, you know, eventually you made the decision to, and there's other things we'll go into as well, but you made the decision to put yourself even more out there, and you started making TikToks.
Yes.
And like, what got you to the point, you know, where you finally were like, I'm gonna do this?
Don't know. Because I didn't download TikTok until you guys basically really convinced me to download it in February. And then I just watched videos for a while, and I started making like, you know, stupid trend videos, and I was like, this is fine, like this is, you know, okay, but it doesn't really express who I am. And I love the cosplay, so I figured I might as well make that, especially if I'm going to be getting into costume anyway. I might as well, you know, produce content for it, and it's really fun. I like it. I think a really big part of it is my followers, because they're super sweet to me, and I really like them. Because I'll post a video, and I mean, I'll get some comments on it, and even if I just get one, it makes me super happy, and it motivates me to continue making stuff.
It's all the world, right? Like, it just, it's amazing how awesome it feels when you have those people who are just like, God, you look so great, and this is so much fun. And I mean, your JoJo's cosplays are fantastic. I mean, I love every one of them. I go to the follow page specifically to like yours or your page directly, just because I don't want to be on JoJo's TikTok because I haven't watched it.
Fine.
But I still put the effort in to try to, you know, like all your videos, because I just think you do such a great job, and there's so many people on so many different platforms like that. But I do think that is where, from knowing you for the past couple years, I feel like that's where you found your place. And it makes me really happy to see you on there.
Yeah, I was really happy when I started making content, especially for JoJo's, because the fandom for that is extremely supportive. Well, at least the fandom that I have interacted with. I can't say that for the whole fandom, but oh yeah, so when the whole you know, the whole ban on TikTok was happening, that was like a rough like couple weeks for me, because that happened like the month and a half after I started making my content, and they're like, oh yeah, it's going away, and I'm like, no, I just found my place, you can't get rid of it now. And they didn't, so it's good. But that was hard. I was trying to cope with that for a bit, because I mean, I'm not a very good photographer, like a self-photographer.
I disagree.
So, well, I'm not very good at the self-photography part, especially with like setups and backdrops.
Sure.
All that kind of stuff, where you see people online who have like all these backdrop setups and like props and like scenery and shit that they put in, and I'm like, I can't do that. I have my bed. That's about it.
Yeah.
But the whole like the acting and the whole like being able to experience the cosplay in more of like a move with the movement, it's much better in my opinion, because you can only get so much from a still image. You can't really see like most of the way the costume moves or how it actually looks on someone until they actually start moving around. Like I specifically my Polnareff wig for my cosplay, it looks kind of ridiculous in still photos because it's ridiculous, but when you start to like move around with it, it seems a little bit more realistic, a little bit more accurate, and I like that. It kind of helps give your character.
Definitely, yeah.
I don't know if that made any sense.
No, that did. That made complete sense. You know, I mean, that's part of the reason that I've liked TikTok. You know, it's a different form of expression. You know, it's not, because there's so much variety. You know, it's not like Vine, it's not like YouTube, like where they have variety, but like I mean, just scrolling, you get to see so much different stuff. And my favorite part about it is you get to see people having fun and enjoying what they do. Like, at least the part of TikTok that I'm on and the people that I follow, like seeing all, like, you cosplay and like knowing a little bit about like your home life and everything like that and how you feel about that from time to time. It's like, I love seeing you smile. So that is just what, like, that's why I love seeing those videos of you on there. And that's why I figured that, like, you're so great on there, and it's perfect that you were able to find something for yourself. And with everything that's happened in 2020 with COVID, you know, you also don't get to go to conventions and wear your cosplays and do all this. So what a great opportunity for you to still be like, I could still do it.
Mm-hmm. It was nice. I mean, I don't go anywhere anymore. I mean, I work from home, so like I don't even go out unless I absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what you should be doing. But it's fun. I had like a 6-hour filming day on Sunday. That's all I did for 6 hours was film TikToks, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I have a hard time motivating myself to actually do it, but once I'm actually doing it, it's a good time.
Okay.
I love it.
That's good. That's good. Well, I mean, what else should we talk about here, Claudia? I mean, there's so much in your life that even I don't know about, and the mystery that is Claudia, that is Naruto Chick Zero, which actually here's gonna be a kind of an interview question. Naruto Chick Zero, tell us about your tag.
I made it in 8th grade when I was finally allowed to have internet, and Naruto Chick with a K was taken.
Son of a. All right, hold on. We're going. We're gonna go buy it right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the Gmail. I was making my email account, and I was like, I like Naruto Chick. Haha. Oh, no, okay. Let's cut off the kit. Naruto. Nope, still take him. I'll just throw a 0 on there.
There you go. There you go.
And that's my handle for everything except for Xbox. So.
Yeah. Well, it works out. Still a fan of Naruto?
Yes.
You can say no.
I guess.
It's fine.
I mean, it's not like I dislike it. I've read and watched all of it. I haven't started Boruto or anything, but
I was watching Naruto before we came on. So let's see. There's other things. Like, I think one of the biggest things, and you kind of touched on it earlier as well, is like your love for Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter, like Ruby and all that stuff. I mean, God, I mean, not that I'm going to ask you to do this, but I mean, the merchandise that you have. And I mean, tell us about that. Tell us about all of that and your love for them.
So my love for Rooster Teeth started with Red vs. Blue, beginning of season 4, which I believe came out, I'm probably going to get that wrong, like 2006 or 2007?
Sounds right.
So, something right. About. Anyway, I was in middle school. I was only like 4. No, I can't remember how old you are in 7th grade. Anyway, I was in 7th grade, and my boyfriend at the time, I went over to his house, and he's like, "Here, watch this internet show," because I didn't have it. He's like, "Watch this internet show. You would absolutely love it." And I did. We binged seasons 1, 2, and 3. And then I would go over to his house to watch season 4. And I've basically non-stop watched Rooster Teeth content since then. I watched all of the like mini-series. I've watched all of the like the RT shorts. I've watched Achievement Hunter. I started watching Achievement Hunter when it was just gamer guides. I didn't play any of the games, but I watched them. And since Minecraft episode 1. I was there for pretty much every first for Rooster Teeth. I have a first account also. I've been to 7 RTX events. Let's Play Live. I've been to quite a bit of stuff. I own probably close to like 150 t-shirts. I have... That's the wrong side. Ruby, all the Ruby stuff over here. I have more Ruby stuff up there. I have all of my Ruby figures in the corner back there. I haven't put them on display yet because I have no shelves. I love them a lot. And it's probably not the best, but I see most of Achievement Hunter as like my family. Like specifically Jack. Jack I definitely consider like a fun uncle of mine, but
I mean, he's an idol of mine as well.
yes, quite obviously with that beard. But no, they've always been there for me. I have pretty bad depression, and they help me out through a lot of that stuff. By watching their videos, it makes me happy, it makes me smile, kind of forget about things for a while. So they've always kind of been there for me, and I appreciate them for that.
And what a big thing, like when you like, and I'm very similar in the same boat for how long I've been fans of both Rooster Teeth and Achievement Hunter. You know, I was about 14 years old when they started, you know, so when you think about that, I'm 31 now. That's more than half my life now. And you're 26, so it's a very similar thing about being a fan of something for so long and how that can mean to a person just overall. Now, you don't have to talk about this next subject if you don't want, but just to bring it up because it's a good and healthy thing to talk about. And you mentioned your depression that you have. Like I said, you don't have to speak on it by any means, but just like, you know, I'm not a therapist, so obviously anything I say is going to sound like absolute dog shit. But like, I guess where does it come from? Like, I guess like, was there a specific thing in your life where all of a sudden, like, is it similar to kind of what you were saying about being bullied as a kid? Like, I guess that's where I'm coming from with that.
Like where my depression comes from?
Yeah, like I said, it's not exactly the easiest question to ask, but I was just curious if that's something that you have ever wanted to put out there. Now remember, this is going to be on the internet, so you don't have to say it.
No.
I just want to be clear.
I really couldn't say where I think my depression comes from. It's just something that's always, I feel like it's always been there. Now I didn't really know what it was until like towards the end of high school, more towards college when I started reading about that kind of stuff, about mental, I can't think of the word.
Mental illness.
Mental illnesses, and then definitely identifying myself on the gender spectrum as well as the sexuality spectrum. That really helped me kind of come to terms with who I am, because before that it was kind of difficult and it really upset me that I didn't know who I was, which really weighed heavy on my shoulders, like not knowing where I fit, or because I didn't really have a lot of friends or anything. I had some close good friends, but I didn't have a lot of friends, and I could never really understood why. Now I have a lot of friends. I love you all so very much. But
hit like for Claudia.
Aw, yay.
Every like is a smile on her face. That's baiting. That's not fair. But
frown.
Or frown. Yeah, every dislike is a frown on my face, which that won't help anybody. You go ahead and hit that dislike button. Well, I mean, thank you for talking about it a little bit. I mean, I know it's a tough thing to bring up, you know. And this is a little bit for me here because I'm still trying, as you know, we talked about this a few times, just you and me. I'm still trying to figure out the whole differences between like sexual orientation and like even gender fluidity, all of that. Like I won't say I'm ignorant, but I'm learning, you know?
Yeah.
So for you, and this will help me and maybe some others out there who have a hard time trying to learn about this or figure it out, how did you know, or like how did you figure out where you were? Was it just doing like learning about it online, or did you just have that moment?
So I am biologically female, and in college I thought for a while that I shouldn't have been, and I thought for like about a year that I was transgender, that I actually wanted to be a man because I like male aesthetic. I like the way that looks. I definitely felt more comfortable in men's clothing, and it was just something that, I don't know, kind of felt more like me. I cut my hair off, like I pretty much shaved it off, all of it. So it was really short, and I wore like dress pants and nice shirts all the time, and just wore men's clothing. And then once I cut my hair really short, I loved it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it kind of made me want to dive more into makeup, because there were days where I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, I don't like the way this looks. Like, I don't want to look like a man today. Like, this is weird. So I would do my makeup to make myself feel a little bit more feminine. And then towards that point, it kind of like sparked in my head that I'm obviously not transgender, because I don't want to be a man. And then I also didn't want to be what I already was. So I kind of went online, looked through some online resources for the LGBTQ, and I discovered all the different the gender options that there are. It sounds weird to say gender options.
I mean, it's a term that I have also seen online. So,
but I've thought for a while that I was gender fluid. I thought I would switch back and forth between male and female, and then for the most part, I am still gender fluid, but I feel like more under the gender neutral category most of the time, because I do embody both male and female traits on a regular basis at the same time. So like I'll wear button up with a collar, button all the way up, men's jeans, and then I'll put my face in makeup. Like, so I'll have like feminine pieces and masculine pieces to my outfit, and it's just what's comfortable for me.
Well, that's good.
That's all that really matters is what's comfortable for you.
Well, I mean, that's the point, right? I mean, today in 2020, moving onward, those social norms are starting to disappear. They're not anywhere near gone by any means. Like, that is not something that I will try to say out loud, but they're disappearing. The idea of like, if I wanted to go wear a dress, I'm going to, and I am very much straight male, cis male. I think that is the term that I'm looking for.
Yes.
Yes. Nailed it. But I am, and that's something I've always been. But I've also always been very comfortable with who I was. I always have been, and that's why it's never bothered me to, be around, other guys, or even be, you could say even somewhat sexual towards other guys, because I don't care. Like, it's never bothered me. And if you want to wear, dude jeans, I mean, for God's sakes. Guy jeans are the most comfortable jeans.
So comfortable.
They're so
and they
comfortable.
Have pockets.
Like, I've told so many people, like, look, I will look and find you the right pair of jeans. You go get a good pair of Wranglers at Target, they're $15. And these pockets can fit a fucking DVD in them. All right, DVD case.
Fit my DS in my pocket.
If you can fit your DS in your pocket, you're winning, right? Like, that's the win. Exactly. So that's the whole point, right? Like, as long as you feel comfortable, it doesn't matter. And I'm happy that you are feeling comfortable with who you are now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to label yourself. Like, you don't even have to do that.
No.
If you don't want to. If you just want to be you and not put a label or a name on it, then that's great.
Right. And don't worry about what other people have to say about it. There's gonna be terrible people out there who are going to say something against it. But it's not about them. Just like right now, this isn't about anybody besides you, Claudia. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. That's the whole idea. So, going back to some other things that you do, because, I mean, you're just so damn talented and everything. You're also an artist, and you draw and you sketch, and you're just, I mean, you can't really see it, but all the way back there is a big portrait printed of Claudia for my D&D group. She did all of our characters, which I'll put up right here. And she worked really hard on this, and she'll never do another one for me again.
Maybe at some point.
But talk to us about your art, Claudia. Like, how long you've been doing it, like all that stuff, because it's just so, I find it fascinating where people find their grip and they stick with it for so long.
Yeah, so obviously I've drawn since I was a child. It's a lot of things children do is draw.
What?
What? Crayons and markers and stuff?
Never had them. Never had them.
Who does that?
Nope. I had rocks.
Rocks are fun.
Well, I couldn't draw with them.
I mean, it depends on the rock.
What?
Yeah, so
Please don't go into it. It's just a bit. It's just a bit. Please continue.
okay. Anyway, I started drawing, like actually like trying to draw in high school. I loved anime so much that I started drawing anime. And just tracing and stuff, nothing like super important. But I've always been artistically inclined. I mean, I started sewing, that's artistic. I started painting. Took a lot of art classes in high school. I did painting, I did drawing 1 and drawing 2. I also did a filmography class and videography class, which was super fun. I went to a pretty good high school though, so. And then, I mean, I kind of stopped drawing for a while after high school because I didn't have time with college. It just kind of, it took over my life. And I just really started drawing again about a year and a half ago because I bought an iPad Pro with the iPencil. And I was like, well, I can actually, create digital art again. I mean, I always sketched and like would do doodles in like my side margins of papers and stuff at work on sticky notes. My desk at work, which is non-existent anymore, was completely covered in sticky notes of drawings. My coworkers always be like, "Oh, it looks so good." And I'm like, "Thank you. Do you want it?" And they're like, "You're gonna let me take this?" It's like, "Yeah, take it. It's just a sketch. I did it on call, so no problem." So I had a coworker of mine who would come over and just like periodically like look through, be like, "Oh, I'm taking this one." And so she would just take my art and put it on her walls, this is really nice. But I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. But I like it. I mean, I would definitely not consider myself a good artist, and mainly because I do have a lot of artist friends, and who make a living doing it. And so like I look at their stuff and then I look at my stuff and I'm like, well, it's not that good, but I still enjoy it, and that's really all that matters.
Again, it's what matters, as long as you do something you enjoy. I have one thing in my life I enjoy. It's video games. Okay, two things. My wife, but
Oh, Cassie comes second.
Yes. Not a joke.
Rip.
But I mean that's this whole conversation, right? It's about enjoying things. That's kind of what we're getting at here, and that's why everything we've talked about so far, Claudia. Well, I won't say what we've talked about because the whole idea is what you have talked about, and that's the whole point. It's about having fun and enjoying who you are, what you are, and this is why I thought you were the perfect first guest for this. Because I've just, ever since I met you, I've always noticed, well, it's not even just notice, it's just you were the voice in the back, you were one of my favorite people to hang around with at RTX and at C2E2 at these conventions, but you're always back there and I'm up front, Yes. I mean, that's who I am and that's who you are. But this is why I feel like I get to be the person to give you this opportunity to say whatever the fuck you want, girl. Not girl.
Girl's fine.
Okay. My brain kind of broke there for a second.
There's no real good gender neutral term for that.
No,
for that phrase.
That's very much in my vocabulary, no matter what. Like man and dude and girl and darling.
I say dude, bro. I say that shit all the time.
I mean, as long as I can still say those, I'm good. So
now, some people
I know
won't like it. It's gonna vary on the person.
And you know what? I'm fine with people not being okay with it. Like that's not a problem. All I would ever ask is just tell me. Like if I say, "Hey man, what's going on?" It's like I'm not a man. Okay. I'm like whatever you want. Like I don't know. Like right off the bat. So going off on a tangent there. Well, Claudia, like. We've gone over a few things that I wrote down that I really wanted to hear you talk about. Now, I want to open it up again here, and otherwise we can be done. But, here's the question, okay? When it comes to things that you don't get to talk about, like when you are with people or family or your closest friends, your sister, and you bring it up and you don't feel like anybody, cares or wants to listen, why don't you go ahead and see if you can talk about that.
Honestly, I have a lot of opinions that I do get to express when I'm around you guys, especially in our weekly group call, because you make a point of letting me talk. If no one else is letting me talk, you kind of like step in. You're like, "Hey, shut up, let her talk." And so like, I do get to express that kind of stuff. Now, most of the stuff that I can't express at home or around my family, just because I'm the quiet one and my sister's not.
Again, a reason.
No offense to her, but because I don't think she'll watch this, but that's irrelevant. I get to talk about all of that with you guys.
Well, good.
So...
Well, good. I'm happy because it's a very broad thing to ask people. Like here's a chance to talk about what you don't usually get to talk about, and for you to say that you get to do that, perfect. That's exactly the point. It's a voice that gets to be heard, and you do get to be heard, and that's what we wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to do. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
You guys did bar me from talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but I won't go into
the only reason we did that is because you and Josh went for like an hour one night, while 8 of us sat in the chat.
JoJo's blanket.
Do you want to talk JoJo's? I'll let you talk JoJo's. Go ahead. That's the whole point. You want to talk JoJo's? Hour mark. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the next 2 hours. Let's go.
I don't know if I could talk that long about it.
I bet you could.
I probably
bet you could.
But, no, I'm working on so many cosplays from JoJo's. It's insane.
What else are you working on? Do you want to say, or do you want to save the spoiler for all the new followers you're about to get?
No. I actually posted on my Instagram the characters that I am making. So obviously I'm doing Polnareff from part 5 or part 3 because I already have it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a character from every part.
Okay.
That's anime so far. Yeah. I haven't read the manga, but part 1 I'm doing William Zappelli because he's got the top hat and it's super awesome.
Yes.
Part 2 I'm doing Caesar, which is that guy on the blanket right there. Irrelevant. He's got bubbles. That's his weapon, his bubbles.
All right.
Yeah.
I promise you, I told Cassie the other night, just not to cut you off, but I told her we're gonna fucking watch it just so that way when I go and see Claudia's TikToks, I can at least go, all right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll understand why in my last TikTok, or well, the one from Monday that has almost 3,000 likes right now, why someone called me a toilet licker.
Oh,
and
no.
My brain had to pause for a second. I was like, is this an insult? I can't. And then I remembered there's an episode where Polnareff licks a toilet. So like.
Oh, okay, because I was about to go report somebody.
So. No, you didn't. No, I was really confused, and I was like. Oh, right. Okay. I was like, psh, I just washed my hands afterwards. No big deal.
Nice. Nice.
But then I'm doing Rohan from part 4 and Avakio from part 5. And I'm excited for both of them. Well, I'm excited for all of them.
Well, yeah.
I'll probably be doing more from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure just because that's basically what my TikTok is now.
Well, you're having fun with it, so that's good. And they look great, so. Well,
yes.
There we go, Claudia. I mean, unless there's something else that you think that you want to bring up. I mean, it's not like this is going to be the only appearance I ever probably have you on here. Like, there's always more to talk about. That's the whole point of creating these conversations and opening them up. And for the people watching, open them up in the comment section too. Go to Claudia's TikTok and comment on her. Every single comment, every like is a potential for another conversation. That's the whole purpose of this. Well, Claudia, I want to thank you for doing this with me, for being my very first guest on this.
Yeah, it's no problem. It was really fun.
Yeah,
I liked it.
it's different, isn't it, to just sit here?
It
I mean,
is.
you just get to talk, and you don't have all this noise around you and no other people, and we're gonna keep going at this. So thank you everybody for watching, and I will put all of Claudia's stuff in the description, everything. Please go follow, and well, I guess I already made an outro for this, so I should probably just cut it off here.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you all so much for joining us today on the very first episode of Creating Conversations. I really hope you guys enjoyed what we're doing here, and I hope you had a chance to listen to what had to be said. If you guys like this, please go ahead and give us that thumbs up and hit that bell so that way you know when the next video is going to be up. Also, please go follow my guest, Claudia. She is on TikTok and Instagram. I will put all the links in the description. And thank you guys so much. And, well, who are we going to talk to next? Remember, guys, stay safe, wear a mask, and we'll see you next time.